Thank you for listening to the Leader's Choice Insurance Podcast with Rich Norley and Ben Clark. In this podcast, our goal is to showcase to you why Leader's Choice Insurance is different from your typical insurance agency and how you will be part of the next chapter. Welcome to Leader's Choice Podcast. My name is Rich Norley. I'm here with my business partner, Ben Clark,
Hello, everybody.
Co-founder of Leader's Choice Insurance. Today, we're going to talk about why you should become a commercial insurance broker. We're going to tell you some big secrets about the industry, a little bit about what we're about, and how we arrived where we're at. So Ben and I started Leader's Choice Insurance 10 years ago. In fact, we turned 10 years old in January. Prior to that, we worked together at another insurance agency, and we both have an insurance background. Mine goes back to 1998. Boy, it's been a long time. Ben, how long have you been in insurance?
I think it was 2003 when I started in health insurance. But it was a couple years later that I found out commercial insurance was a lot better than health insurance and jumped ship.
Right. So what we're going to tell you today is why commercial insurance and being a commercial insurance broker is really quite awesome. It's much different than many other parts of insurance.
Well, it's also, even from a higher level, it's very different than a regular sales job. In most sales jobs, you sell a widget, whether it's a house, a car, a telephone, or something else, you get a commission. And to get another commission, you got to go sell another widget. Commercial insurance is very different in that our customers have to buy a new widget or insurance policy from us every year. And so every year when they have to rebuy this widget or insurance policy, we get paid again. So as long as you keep your clients happy, they'll repay you year over year over year over year.
Yeah, it's pretty nice selling a product that people have to buy. You know, even the top lawyers and top doctors have to go find their next lawsuit or have to find their next surgery. Whereas if, when we get a customer, every single year that policy renews. And if we take care of them, we keep earning commission. Ben, how many insurance policies do mostly our clients have?
So if you take let's take a auto body shop. These are all going to be mandatory policies that they're required to purchase. So first off, usually the largest one is workers' comp. So the state mandates if you have employees, you must buy workers' comp insurance. It's always a 1-year contract with all of these policies. So every year, if you buy on December 1st, you have to rebuy again every year in December 1st. So there's a worker comp policy. That's the first one. Then you're going to have a property policy in case you damage the automobile shop that you're working at. It catches fire or something happens to it. And that's either required by the landlord or your bank that you've got a loan through. So that has to be purchased every year. Then there's general liability. So if you're in this auto shop and you forget to put a drain plug in somebody's car and they drive away and the engine seizes, that's your liability. Same with simple slip and fall insurance. If somebody slips and falls in your shop, that'll cover your general liability. Most body shops have a parts truck that they run. Well, you have to have a commercial policy for that. You can't have a personal policy because there's no coverage for doing business under a personal policy. So that's 4 policies so far that a small auto body shop would have to pay. Now, there's larger shops that would have more policies to purchase, like maybe cyber liability. They might have protection in case their employees sue them. So again, almost all of these, the majority of these policies that we sell, our clients have to buy. They're a 1-year contract and they have to rebuy every year. Sometimes the price goes up, sometimes the price goes down. But as long as we keep our clients happy, we can sell them these 4 or 5 policies again, year over year over year. And as brokers, we get paid on it year over year over year.
Wow. So it sounds like if you could get a client and keep them happy, you could continue making income.
Yeah, we've got clients that have been paying us commissions for 15 plus years.
Great. And so that's called a book of business is what I've the term in the industry is to build a book of business. Talk to me a little bit about commercial insurance versus personal, say like a Farmers or a State Farm type agency.
So the difference is we're dealing with more with larger and more sophisticated clients. Um, Personal lines, you're selling somebody. In personal lines is like your renter's insurance, your homeowner's insurance, your personal auto insurance. Those policies are very small. They might average around $2,000, where our policies average $25,000 to $30,000. So we don't have to sell as many policies uh, as a personal lines person. Plus, the personal lines world is flooded with State Farm and Geico and all of the commercials that you see all over the TV. So unless you're the you know mayor of your town or the most popular kid in your town who knows everybody, it's really hard to build a book of business starting with really small policies.
So it sounds like in commercial insurance, where Leader's Choice is at, the policy size are going to be bigger. Therefore, you're going to be able to earn more. Can you tell me a little bit about the commission structure? How does a commercial insurance broker, earn income, earn money?
Good question. Well, they have a commission split that the agency has. So there'd be a percentage of the policy premium would come into the agency as commission. The broker takes some of that commission, and the agency takes some of that commission.
So if you had let's use a $100,000 in premium policy, which is a size that we sell, can you break that down for me? How much would a broker earn on $100,000 in premium sale?
Well, as of broadcast, we currently are paying 40% commission. So our agencies, or our carriers rather, typically pay us between 12 and 15% commission. So let's just use the 15. It's easier math wise. So on a $100,000 policy, they would pay the agency $15,000. Now our brokers, we pay 40% new business commission. So they would take home $6,000 of that policy premium.
Okay, wow. And what can you tell me the range of premium sizes that your brokers sell?
Yeah, the ranges are from $5,000 a year to we've got clients that are paying well over $1 million a year for their insurance.
Wow, where are clients located for the most part?
Most of our clients are all in California. The reason they're all in California is California is one of the most expensive states to operate insurance in. So the policies are much bigger here than they are in Nevada, Washington, Oregon, some of the other states surrounding us.
So if somebody's interested in being a commercial insurance broker and they're the right fit for Leader's Choice, can you tell me about the process that a new broker would go through to try to build a book of business at Leader's Choice and become successful long term?
Yeah, well, first is the licensing. Got to get licensed by the state. It's a 52-hour course that you take online. There's an online test now with COVID going on currently. If things change later, it's back to in-person testing. But it's a state test. You have to get a 60. So you get your D- or better, and you become an insurance agent, and then you come into Leader's Choice. We consider ourselves a university for new insurance brokers. We don't hire brokers that have been doing this for 10 years unsuccessfully other places. We hire new brokers or new salespeople, and we teach them how to be brokers. So then you spend a couple of weeks learning insurance, learning scripts, learning rebuttals, learning who to call and why to call and who to skip and who to quote and who not to quote. And we've got a really great mentorship program that we bring our new brokers in, and they have a mentor. And that mentor is incentivized to help the new person sell. It lasts for 6 months, and every time the new person sells, the agency gives the mentor a bonus. So they're helping with all of your deals, your calls, your scripts, your rebuttals, and they're stuck to your hip for the first 6 months to make sure that you're winning every opportunity that you possibly can.
That sounds great. What does the first year typically look like for a broker?
The first year sucks. The first year is really hard. This is where we try to talk people out of the job. We expect our brokers to make a minimum of 50 telephone calls to people they've never spoken to every day for the first year. We have all the leads. We have hundreds of thousands of leads. We have them qualified. So you're calling people about 60 days before they renew, 30 to 60 days before they renew. So they're in the buying process, but you have to have thick skin. You don't know what you're doing yet. You're just practicing. And so it gets easier year over year over year, and you get to make less and less calls as you have a book of business that you can write other lines of insurance. You have referrals coming in. You've got these other streams of leads coming in, but when you're starting fresh, you're starting fresh. The leads are good, but you have to be able to get on the phone every day and make 50 telephone calls. It takes 3 to 4 hours to make that, but when you're new, you've got nothing else to do, so you might as well make the calls.
Right. Does a broker's hit ratio or success ratio get better year 2 and beyond?
Oh, absolutely. Not only are your skills and talents better, but your insurance knowledge is better. And if you quote somebody the first year and you don't win, and you keep in touch with them and you quote them again the second year, they're like, wow, this guy's still in the business. He's obviously successful. You have a higher chance of selling that person the second year, the third year, and keeping them once they know that you're sticking around. You're not just a flash on the pan.
Right. And this may be a silly question, but the products that you and your brokers are selling, they're competitive, correct? There's a differential in pricing?
Yeah, great question. So every carrier has different pricing. So you could get, so think of workers' comp is a pound of white sugar, right? And a pound of white sugar is what the state says you have to buy. And you can buy it from company A, B, or C. Well, if they're all the same, you typically are going to go for the lowest price, or if they're the same price, the agency that has extra services on top. And every company has different prices, and they can be vastly different. You could be 100% different in pricing, where one could be $25,000 a year and one could be $50,000 a year. The nice thing about Leader's Choice is we work with everybody. We've got about 30 to 40 workers' comp companies that we can go to. So we can always find the lowest price, and then our agency has lots and lots of benefits and features that where we are close to the same price, even not winning sometimes, we'll sell the policy just due to the extra features and benefits, web portals, apps, things that our clients can do online that other agencies can't do, services that we offer for free that other agencies charge for, just don't have the capacity to offer.
So product offering sounds important if it's a priced, if there's price differential. How does it work in terms of your number of product offerings, your number of insurance companies versus some of your competitors?
Good question. We go up a lot against, we call it insurance agency shops sometimes, but we go up against a lot of other shops that just don't have the reach. Where we have 30 or 40 outlets or bullets in our gun, they might only have 2 or 3. So we can just we just have more plays in our playbook. We have more places that we can go to try to win this business, because they don't have access to these insurance companies because they're too small to work with them.
That makes a lot of sense. Can you talk to me a little bit about your sales process and the technology involved with your sales team? I've heard that you say in the past you want to have your hunters hunt and your gatherers gather and really keep your salespeople selling.
Yeah, good question. In a lot of agencies, a broker is expected to do all of the front end work, which is making the calls, and then do all of the back end work, which is doing the data entry into 10 insurance companies' web portals. They're doing all of this extra work that's non-selling, and we want our hunters to hunt, and selling is selling. So we want our brokers selling. So we've built a whole back office team to do all of the villaging. So they're the ones that are doing the submissions to multiple carriers. They're the ones who are taking care of just all the back office paperwork that we don't want our brokers wasting their time on.
That makes a lot of sense. So there's a team concept, it sounds like?
It is. Each broker has a dedicated account manager. The account manager has a dedicated customer service rep, and the customer service rep also has an assistant. So each broker has 3 people on their team behind them to help support them, along with their broker mentor that's helping them on the front end.
That makes sense. And in terms of renewals, I could assume a broker over time would have hundreds of clients, and they may all be renewing on a certain day or certain month. And that could be very time consuming and could create like a ceiling for a broker selling new accounts. How does that work at Leader's Choice?
Good question. And again, we're comparing ourselves to a lot of other agencies. In a lot of other agencies, you renew every one of your accounts yourself. You have to call that $5,000 client, and you have to resell them their policy, as well as trying to fit time in to find new clients. Well, at Leader's Choice, we've got it set up where you really only touch about your top 10% of your clients. The rest of them, your service team is going to renew for you. I've got clients I've had for 10 years. They don't remember who Ben Clark is. They know my account manager because they dealt with my account manager. My account manager has renewed their policy for the last 10 years. So this really gives our brokers no ceiling, or a much, much higher ceiling, where you can continue to hunt clients, not have to worry about servicing and renewing your smaller clients, and just keeping good relationships with those top 10s and getting referrals and such from those guys.
What other benefits, other than price and number of insurance carriers you work with, do you have to win over new clients and keep current clients with you?
We subscribe to multiple services that are all logoed to Leader's Choice. It looks like it's a Leader's Choice login through our website, where they can download safety manuals, OSHA, safety topics. It's basically a whole HR suite. If they need to know how to fire somebody correctly or hire somebody correctly, all of this is at our clients' fingertips, and we don't charge anything for it. If a client wants a certificate of insurance, it's just proof of insurance. Usually they have to call their agency or email their agent and wait for that to come back. Well, we have a web portal where they can go get that themselves, or they have an app that they can go through iOS or the App Store and download, and they can do all of that stuff themselves. We're here 100% for anybody who wants to deal with us instead of having to use an app, but most agencies or shops don't have this extra technology available to them.
Wow, very cool. You've been in insurance quite a while now. You've seen some economic cycles and some things happen in the world. Can you talk to me a little bit about the insurance business and how it fares through recessions and good times and bad times?
Well, let me kick this one back to you. You've been through a couple more cycles than I have. Maybe one cycle more than I have.
Well, my answer to this question would be that insurance is pretty bulletproof. Yeah, I've had a lot of friends lose jobs and lose homes based on economic cycles. Like in 2008, the Great Recession, all my friends that were in mortgage and selling consumer products basically went to zero income. You and I were teamed up during that time, and we grew our business. We actually increased our number of customers because people wanted to shop more. So I guess my answer to that is insurance is a very, very stable industry and platform to get into.
Yeah, it goes back to the concept in the beginning, is that people have to buy what we're selling. So if you want to be in business, you have to buy those 4 or 5 policies that we talked about. But you don't have to go buy a new car. You don't have to buy a new house. You don't have to get a new mortgage. Those are optional things that a lot of people are selling. You don't have to have a new cell phone the latest, greatest that comes out. But if you're going to be a business owner, you have to buy these 4 or 5 policies that we sell.
Sure. And the business owners, if the insurance policies go up, they don't get their new Ford truck that year. They pay more insurance, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What is it? Paint a picture for me of your most successful brokers, your top percentage brokers that have been with you for 8 to 10 years. What does their income look like? What does their lifestyle look like?
Yeah, we've got guys who have come from behind the bar. We've got servers. We've got folks that used to sell houses, sell real estate. We've got people who have sold cars. We've got lots and lots of different backgrounds. But after a couple of years of building their book of business, I've seen monthly incomes in the 20, 30, knocking on $40,000 a month range because they've built large book of businesses and they've worked very hard at it, and their lifestyles changed. It's not all about the money necessarily. It's about what the money affords you to do. They get to live in a nice neighborhood. The kids go to a nice school. They get to drive them in a nice car. They get to take nice vacations. So it's nice to make the money to have the lifestyle to enjoy the money that you've earned.
Yeah, that's great. And I guess it brings us right back around to the big secret that we're sharing with you all today, but we don't necessarily tell everyone in the world, is the residual income piece. It's really hard to find any type of profession that is really set up the way a commercial insurance broker is to make residual income, where the product is mandatory to purchase and it has to be purchased again year after year after year, let alone having one client, like Ben said in the beginning of the podcast, that has 4 policies or 5 or 7. Do you have anything else, like any other points that I missed?
I don't think so.
Brochure's the hardest, products. Well, thanks for joining us today on our Leader's Choice podcast episode. I'm Rich.
And I'm Ben.
And we'll be back to you next time with some more really fun insurance information.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for listening to this section of the Leader's Choice podcast. Thank you to our producer, Sam Lubman of Painless Podcasts, for helping us make the Leader's Choice podcast possible. For more information about us, check out our website at leaderschoiceinsurance.com.